All right, I want to talk about sweat guards. What is a sweat guard? We have a sweat guard here. Has a couple purposes. One, mitigate sweat. When it's against your body, it's usually not perfectly contacting the body at the top of the sweat guard. So sweat and stuff will mitigate. This will mitigate sweat. Sweat will build up on the holster, not inside the gun. So that's one reason. Sweat guards are there for a lot of reasons. They keep your skin or clothing away from the gun to reduce abrasion, sweat, and if you're like me and you like carrying with an undershirt, it also helps keep garments clear of your holster. There's nothing worse than getting your inside of your undershirt caught inside your holster, and then this is a Glock 48 holster, your gun trigger guard eating up your shirt and having an accidental discharge into your body. Sweat guards are there to protect the firearm and to protect you as a shooter. This is my personal carry. It's got a nice high sweat guard. It protects the decocker, the controls. It's slightly flared. Our Glock 19 holsters also have a flare for the controls, so it helps guide the gun back in. Sweat guards are not only there for safety and keeping the gun clear, it also helps you reholster. So when I come out of this holster, bang, 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 and I'm going back in, the sweat guard is holding my body away, reducing pinching, accidental pinching. It's holding my undershirt and garments back so I can visibly see into the holster and say, okay, this is safe to put away now. Nothing, you don't want any clothes getting caught between your sweat guard and there. So that's why it's there. Helps protect you as well. When it's in there. When you're driving the gun back into the holster, that sweat guard there acts like a guide. It kind of captures the front of the muzzle and you can kind of just press it against the body and find that holster. If you don't have a sweat guard, what's going to happen is your body, garments, and tissue is going to swell into the holster. You're going to have to do exaggerated leans to get it in there. When you have to do exaggerated leans to get your body and your garments out of the way, there's another opportunity there for you not to visibly see into your holster that it's clear. Okay? You could be the skinniest person in the world. You're wearing a loose-fitting undergarment, you can easily get it stuck in there. Right now, I can see all the way down to my boxers. It is clear to reholster. As I reholster, I can contact the body and find that. If I can't and I don't have time to visibly see that it's clear, I can feel. Garments are out of the way. Not even looking. Garments are out of the way. I can feel that they're out of the way. I can take my offhand, quickly feel. Okay, nothing's there. If I need to keep my eyes on something, okay, it's clear, and feed it back in. And that sweat guard helps you feed it back in. Only time the sweat guard can be a little uncomfortable is when you have the gun out of the holster and you're doing some bending and you can get it poking into you. But I mean, if your gun's out of the holster, you're in a situation, it's not on you, it's not in your holster anymore, you're in a situation and that's the last thing you need to worry about is that sweat guard poking you. So that is why we have a sweat guard. Multiple reasons: safety, protecting the gun, protecting you, a guide to get the gun back in the holster. And the nice thing about that is if you don't have a sweat guard and you're doing drill, you know, bang, 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 that sweat guard keeps everything out of the way. You're not sitting there at the range going, oh, let me get my gun back in my holster, right? You could just go, you're spending less time at the range fighting your garments, fighting your body out of the way to get your gun back in the holster because of that sweat guard. So you're going to have faster reholster time, which means you're going to get twice as many reps in at the range in dry fire. All right, folks, I want to walk you through belts. Today, we're going to be talking about EDC belts. It's really important to have a quality EDC belt. I am running a Blue Alpha Gear EDC belt. It's got the Cobra buckle with the 1.5 inch smaller female receptacle, and it feeds through my belt loops very easily. A little guiding it through, but it fits through real nice. This is a very stiff belt. It's a great gun belt, and it's a fixed size. So to set your size with this belt, you'll basically undo the Velcro portion here, find your size that you like carrying, that's most comfortable for you, with or without a gun, obviously. And that is my size. I don't really fluctuate a whole lot in weight, so I have it at a set size. You'll see some other belts on the market that have another nylon strap that's loose and comes over, and you can quickly adjust sizes on the fly. I don't really have a problem. This keeps my pants up real nice. I don't really have to have it any tighter. I wear an undershirt to protect myself a bit from the guns. You can see I do have a hole in my shirt. It's because I've been carrying a gun for a long time. This is what is best for me. Anyway, so you don't quite really want to carry this belt on center. I like to carry the belt off center like that. You can move it any which way you want. It's best to carry it off center. When I'm using my firearm, I carry a CZ SP01 Tactical. It's unloaded with a light and an optic. Snaps right in. And I carry it at the Appendix. Appendix meaning it favors one side, right? Which is super important. If you carry the gun on center, what's going to happen is it might conceal well for you, but your body is more curved here, so the grip's going to stick out. It's also putting pressure on your pelvis right above your package. This makes bending extremely difficult. If you carry it a cross draw, again, you're going to have more problems bending. It's not going to be comfortable sitting in a vehicle for a long period of time. Obviously, in this case, this is regarding right-handed shooters. Just mirror this opposite for a left-handed shooter. So our belt comes with a concealment claw built in. You want that behind your pants, behind your belt. I carry right here at the 1 o'clock. Belt clip is on about the 1 o'clock. Grip's coming across. You can see there's a little bit of bulge here where the belt clip is, and then the belt is pushing down on the claw, and the grip is tipped into the body. So the reason why I like this is I can move around with this. I can bend and touch my toes. It's not a problem. I can sit in the vehicle for a long period of time. If I'm in the vehicle sitting, and this is a lot bigger gun than most of you are going to carry, I can readjust it a little bit. When I'm sitting, I'll put my hand on the back of the gun and I'll rotate it down a little bit. And then, when you're sitting, you have a little bit of play, a little bit of movement, and then when I get back out, standing in the real world, I'll readjust ever so slightly before I go out and do whatever I'm doing. And that's how I carry. So I carry this gun like this all the time. You want it here because when you're standing naturally and you need to go for your gun, your hand is already relaxed at this point. Let's say it's not. Let's say you're doing something. You naturally are there. If you're carrying on center or left of center, and this is for men in particular, women can cross draw a little bit more effectively. Their pelvises are flat. They can carry a gun across the front. It's more comfortable for them. But for men, it's more comfortable here. So when I'm getting the gun up, that was a poor grip. So when I'm getting the gun up, I lift my shirt up. It's not preferable to grab down here. I grab from down here because I wear an undershirt. If you don't wear an undershirt, you want to grab like you're punching yourself and grip your shirt here, because it's faster to come to here rather than to try to find and fight your clothes. So if you come here and you punch your clothes and rip up, it's less movement to get the shirt out of the way, right? So if you punch and grip, you can pull it up. Reason is I have issues with that just because I wear an undershirt. If you don't wear an undershirt, this is the fastest way to expose your gun. So when you do this, let's say I'm going to do it the way I do it. So as I'm picking this up, it's so subconscious to me to bring my hand towards my gun when I lift this up. See? As this hand is bringing this up and removing the garment out of the way, my right hand's coming with it. You don't want to be caught lifting your shirt up, holding it in place, then going for your gun. You want to lift it up at the same time. You can see my body positions. I'm kind of snapping to it. It's how I just do it. You know, coming out to the gun. You know, sometimes I'm going to get hung up. You're going to have to fight and find for it. But so when I get to the gun, you're going to fumble around for a little bit if you don't do this a lot. It's always advised to practice dry fire. Use the SIRT pistols, S-I-R-T. Those are really good. Find your model if you can have it, if you can find it. But it's really good to practice. I get a lot of retention set up on this holster just because it's a heavy setup. So you'll see it is pulling my pants with it. Things like a Glock 19 holster that we make, you can set the tension a lot lighter and get a lot faster out of the holster. I like it a little tighter for the setup. So as I'm coming up, I'm moving with it. Make sure that garment is out of the way. I get my hand on the gun. You'll see my thumb here. I'm not trying to get my grip. I'm not trying to set my real grip here. What happens when you set your real grip here, let's say you're trying to do your full grip here, and then you position your hands might not be in the right position. So I like to, when I grip the gun, my thumb is on the rear left of the slide. I bring that gun up. When that gun is out and I'm starting to put it on target, my thumb is still up. The reason is when I'm coming in with my left hand and I'm driving the gun, once this hand is here and my thumb is laid over the side of the frame of the gun, I start to roll my thumbs down and I finish my grip. You know, and that gives me a chance to kind of slightly reposition the gun while I'm doing my draw. Try not to, but if you do, it allows you to use your thumb almost as a rudder to kind of steer the gun. So as that gun's coming up, if I don't have a perfect grip, I can kind of rock it back in place, loosen it up, or tighten it up depending on what I need to do. Then I'm on my gun. And obviously this would be framed and profiled at the target. So that's how I carry a gun. I carry a very large, very heavy gun, but you can see even pulled tight, yeah, it's going to print if it's pulled tight. You're never going to get rid of printing. But you have to be comfortable with how you print. Because if you're kind of trying to fight and look and you're always adjusting yourself, that's a tell that you have a gun. Act normal. Don't even pretend. You're always going to print a little bit. When you look down at yourself and you see that you're printing, it looks a lot different than from from a bystander. It's like looking at yourself, looking down in a mirror. You're going to look more fat than you do to other people. You know? It's that perception. But if you carry yourself like you're not carrying a gun, you're going to conceal better. Practice, practice, practice. So as I speed it up, I'm pulling this out of the way. This is so subconscious to me. When I try to do it real fast, if I just do it natural, you know, you're going to fight it every once in a while. You're going to fumble it every once in a while. But repetition, repetition, repetition. I almost come up, and as the gun's clearing, this hand's kind of doing a circle. It's just how I do it. But this is the position, the ideal position that you want to carry. For magazine positioning and placement inside the waist. Alright, so we're going to talk about magazine positioning and placement when you're carrying appendix. A couple ways to do it. This mag carrier is not designed for this mag. This one's for P320. But for concept's sake, I just want to roll with it. So we have you're carrying your gun here, and you carry your mag up here. Different people, this might tip away from the body. There's not enough pelvic contact on this. We're going to be releasing our deep concealment version of these in the next few weeks. It's going to have a 3/4 inch drop that's more exaggerated than this. 3/4 inches more. And it's also going to have an extra slot and a nipple built into the body for tech lock. So you can run it as a deeper concealment mag on the battle belt. It depends on your body type. This might not be the ideal position for you. So for me and my body type right now, this mag is not deep enough for me in this position. And again, we're coming out with a new one. So just for demonstration's sake, I'm just going to show you from this position. Yes, it's printing more on me right now in that current configuration. Our new ones that we're coming out with in the next few weeks will rectify that nuance. Anyway, so inside the waistband carry up front, again, because it's not that deep below the belt, and then we're coming out with the deeper ones, you can see it does kind of tip away from the body. It's not always horrible having it tip away from the body, especially if you get a little tactical muffin top like me. It's not a big deal. When you're sitting, it's a little bit more comfortable. The deeper concealment ones will soak up a lot of that body tip. But anyway, this is a very popular way to carry. The reason why we don't make a combination holster, and again, it will be rectified with our deeper concealment mag pouches for like 21 rounders and larger magazines. The reason why we don't do that, the fixed ones, is because everyone is built differently. Everyone's wider, skinnier, thinner front to back, different positioned hips. You know, I got really wide hips right here. Some people are skinny as a beanpole. If you create a holster that is some fixed size or width, right, and they're connected, so the sidecar style holsters that people are always referencing, doesn't fit every person's body type. So with our magazine carrier or our deep concealment mag carrier that's coming out, you let your belt do that for you and you position it where it's most comfortable for you. So the cuts here, you know, if I was fit, you know, you have your pelvis, your abdominal muscles, they create like a natural cut on men. That's an ideal place to carry in that cut, or a little bit right or left of the cut, depending on the person. So if I was up here, right, this is an ideal place to carry, having the mag up front. It's fast. It's fast because you're so used to clearing your garments to draw your pistol that it's the same motion to get your garment out of the way and go for your magazine. So if I'm going to go bang, 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 empty, bang, 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 empty, go for a reload, that mag's there. I'm doing a really low and slow reload because, well, you guys aren't going to see all of it on this camera angle. But I wanted you to see most of it. So when we got our gun up front, right? Up and over, I lean with it. I drive my thumb down behind the magazine and I'm indexing on the mag. So on a slow-mo, where's my mag? Bang, bang, bang. Dropping mag. I'm going, as that mag drops, I'm going for my next one. Indexing, feeding. Give you a little bit different view. So that's inside the waistband at that position. Some people like to carry on the hip. My buddy Mike Pannone loves carrying at the hip, loves carrying in the back. So sometimes this rear position is also very comfortable for a lot of people. It's kind of more traditional to where you would have, well, I guess you wouldn't have your mags that far back, but it's a little bit closer to like where you would have a rifle mag reload or something like that. So, bang, 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 bang. I'm going for it like this. You can see I'm indexing my mag from the rear, and then I'd go and feed my pistol. So you can carry at the, you know, at the what was that, 6 or 7 o'clock. It's another comfortable way to carry. In a vehicle, it's a little hard to get to back there, but again, it's another comfortable way to carry depending on your body type. Bang, bang, bang. All right. So that's inside the waist carry at that position. Depending on your garments, what time of year, what kind of year, what time of year, depending on your garments, you have a jacket or something like that, our magazine carriers are ambidextrous reversible. Sometimes carrying back here, outside the waistband, is equally as effective. You know, you can carry here, here, wherever back there. Fought it a little bit. Blue Alpha Gear EDC belt. Another way to covert carry is with a traditional standard outside the waistband holster. These are some pancake wings. We do not supply these on the website. We only supply these for special orders, for large orders. We hope to add these to the website at some point. We really want to. But for a covert carry situation where you need to carry on the hip, outside the waistband standard traditional carry is actually a very effective way of carry. So I got my Blue Alpha Gear belt. I'm just threading it up through everything. This is the only shortcoming with having a Cobra buckle setup, is that you got to go back through everything to get your belt back configured. But at the end of the day, again, it's not really a huge deal if you're good at getting your stuff set up. So in this case, I put the belt over my loops, and I have a X compact carried right there. It's not terrible under a shirt. Obviously, bending and moving, you're going to print. This style of carry would be more ideal for a longer, little bit more looser fit, like button down, like a flannel, or a light jacket, or even a heavy jacket. If you're running a heavy jacket, you obviously want one layer of garment between you and your gun. So in this case, if you had a jacket, you'd want to have your jacket over it so that you can brush it out of the way and get to your gun. The nice thing about carrying in this position, having an open bottom, you can visibly see that your holster is free of obstructions when you clear garments. And carry at this position. If you're covering it up with a shirt or a button down that's loose, just remember you got to go for your gun. When you go for your gun, you want to practice getting your garments out of the way before getting your gun up. I like to sometimes carry, when I carry in this position. I don't really ever carry in this position. Quite frankly, Appendix is the only way to go. In a vehicle, if you're sitting, it's very hard to get to this, but this is a way to carry if you have to carry covertly in different, unique outfits. So again, not the greatest for how I'm dressed right now, but for the sake of demonstration. So you can do it a few ways. When you need to get to your gun, you can bring up one-handed, ride your thumb down along the body. Once you find that gun, and you place your hand on that gun, remember, thumb up on the back side of the slide, the rear, on that corner, and you're getting that gun out. And as you get that gun out, you can lay your thumbs back down and profile it that way. So you can do it, if you need to do it one-handed, two-handed. I mean, I've seen some people lift it up this way. Unfortunately, when you lift this way, your hand's now behind your back, and it takes longer to get up front. Other ways to get to it, you can just like you're lifting for appendix with this hand, you'd go with this hand, and you would lift a very aggressive and exaggerated way out, lift it up and out, and then your hand's up near your breast. Your hand's up near your breast, and once that's out of the way, you can get to your gun, and your hand's right there, ready to index your firearm. So, another way to carry, really tight to the body. You can see how tight that is to the body, especially with those wings and a good belt. Keeps it super duper duper tight to the body. This is the X Compact, so it's got that nice short grip, 15 round capacity. Carry right there. And I'll just do some draws, just so you guys can see some draws. This is another reason why I like to carry Appendix. A lot of times you carry here with your garments leaning as you clear garments will help shrink up your shirt or your clothing, get them out of the way. Obviously it's a little bit more normal as you go through your gun. If you have a jacket over it, you just brush that out of the way. For here, I like to really exaggerate and lift it and lean because it shrinks up all your clothes, gets everything out of the way faster. So, bang, bang, bang. Again, good for this time of year. The sweat guard, you know, if your shirt's tucked in and you're carrying like this, the sweat guard on your holster kind of acts as a safety net, keeps your garments out of the way a bit. So we're going to go over concealment and placement of our A&R Design magazine carriers for 5.56 pattern mags. AR style magazines. So these are the Sure Feed 30 rounders. Ambidextrous fit on the magazine, ambidextrous placement on the belt clip, the belt mount system on the magazine body itself is also compatible with Blade Tech Lock, so you can have the 3 points of contact on the Tech Lock and run it that way. So the same magazine carriers that we make for outside the waistband, Overt on your belt, are also the same for inside the waistband for Covert. Nice thing about these, if you need to get them out of your trunk with your work gun, you can simply quickly slide them on and clip them onto the belt, just like you would your pistol magazine carriers in this situation. And again, easy on, easy off. You want them configured that way. For covert carry, obviously it's recommended to carry 20 round magazines as they will conceal better. You can see I'm a little thick up top, so it's pushing the magazine away from the body. Your ability to conceal will come down to garments, placement, and body type. So you're going to have to find where it conceals best on your body. For me, probably conceal better back here. Problem carrying in the rear though is when you start to do bending, anything will print, right? Because your belt is not going to bend in torsion with the body as well as you hope. So for the sake of this demonstration, I'm carrying a 20 rounder on the 9 o'clock position. I have a cleared and empty AR pistol from Type A rifles. I'm just going to run through some quick reloads from here. Ugh. 20 rounder. The 20 rounder Sure feeds are a different feed lip and detent design than the newer stuff. So it's chewing up this a little bit because I haven't been running them in it. But again, for the sake of demonstration, all right. So again, just like your Conceal pistol kit, you can carry Overt or Covert rifle style kit. And again, comes down to your garments, placement, body type. But you have that as an option as well. And this is how we do recommend carrying these. And you can be real fast out of here. Depending on your body type, you could even carry 30 round mags, and obviously you'll be a lot quicker at indexing and getting the mag out. But we'll do one more. So we're going to walk through walk through setup of your battle belt. All right. This is my Blue Alpha Gear double battle belt with the Austro-Alpine Cobra buckle, the D-ring. You can see I have traditional magazines, our magazines that we usually sell on the website, without tech lock. They fit right around the belt nicely. And then I have Blade Tech Lock rifle mag pouches, my med kit, dump pouch, and I'm running a G-code RTI setup for the belt. But obviously, if you are the recommended setup is our ANR design tack belt mount, which fits much tighter to the body than the G-code products. Integrates directly in with the Safariland QLS system. This is the QL22 female receptacle. We do not stock these on the website, but we do sell the belt mount itself and the thigh strap. If you are interested in setting this up this exact way, you can get these on Amazon for like 18 bucks. The holsters from our factory, this is our Nidhogg series and multicam. This does come from the factory, our factory, with the QLS male portion. So this is the suggested setup. I just have a little bit older setup going on my personal belt, but this is the system. This is the same belt, same magazine setup as my personal one, just with the ANR design tactical belt mount system. So the belts from Blue Alpha Gear, they come with this inner belt. There's a couple different versions of it. Here's my Blue Alpha Gear EDC belt. So the belts from them, they come with two different setups. This one's just the kind of preset. You kind of set it yourself by just sucking your gut in and staging it, but they do have one that has a little D-ring of plastic, or like a tri-glide setup that you would lace back through yourself and be able to tighten it down much more effectively than this setup. So they have a couple different. This is one I got a few years ago. The setup that I am referencing is that they come as has this ring here, and it's a double wall belt setup. This is the recommended setup from them. I just don't have one in my size. It's and the reason why I do like the new double wall setup is it's a lot thicker. So if you do decide to just take off your liner belt, you have a thicker gun belt underneath for carrying concealment. So it works both ways. So we'll get this belt up here. When I stage them, I like to start with my holster where it's most convenient for me. and then I'll work my way from my holster around, making sure the belt is fully seated and properly on its Velcro. And then I'll go around and I'll just pinch all the contact points that I can. Make sure they're all snugged up. You know, tuck your stuff in. I also have the Blue Alpha Gear little lanyard here to clip on my Magpul gloves. And my P10F X300. So this is how I have this system currently set up. Multi-tool in the back. I'm switching out this dump pouch. This is actually a brass bag. I'm switching this out for a first beer dump pouch. And then my Dark Angel Medical med pouch. So yeah, obviously, preferably tuck your shirt in. But this is how I have it configured. Mags facing forward on the pistol side. Rifle mags facing rear for index and coke can. Coke can grip. And it's a nice little setup. For the longest time, I preferred the G-Code RTI setup, but now that we have developed this belt mount system, that's actually it's in between like a traditional Safariland mid and low ride setup. I actually prefer this setup. And the reason why I really like this setup is we have purposefully created this nice design that fits Blade Tech as well as Safariland incorporated into the mount itself. And you can see that they're slotted all the way around. A lot of times with the Safariland holsters, like the ALS with the hood, Safariland has created a forward cant on the holster. So your holster is kind of like in this position facing rearward. And when they have the optics cap, optics cover, when it's this position, when you go to draw your gun, a lot of times people will come out of the holster rearward. They'll pull the gun out like this. And with the Safariland ALS setups that have the hood, when you come out of the holster rearward, your optic is missing that hood that will no longer flip up. So when you do have a Safariland ALS setup with the hood, with our new rotational platform, it'll actually tip the holster back at this angle so that you're always positively knocking that hood out of the way, the optic cover. So now you can set your rotation forward and rearward. And then we also supply these on our website. These are our thigh straps. And you just sandwich them between the QL22 Safariland setup and the belt mount itself. We make them in 1.5, 175, and we have a 2-inch option. 175 on a 175 Blue Alpha Gear belt is ideal. It's a very stiff, very rugged, and durable setup. You can see when you have the double wall outer belt with Molly, double wall inner belt with Velcro, you have extremely stiff setup. And if you need to get to your Molly, you just simply crinkle the belt in on itself and it exposes the Molly straps. I don't use a whole lot of the Molly on here, but again, it's always an option there for you. So, just so you can see our Safariland style setup versus how the RTI setup is here for my P10F. Good to go. Easy as that. And again, everything on the belt is ambidextrous, including everything on the belt is ambidextrous from us, including this belt mount. If you're lefty, put it over there. If you're lefty on these, just simply move these belt clips onto the other side and carry on this side. The only thing that's not ambidextrous would be your tactical outside the waistband holster. It would have to be righty or lefty. So, running your setup from here, Super easy. We'll just do a quick little dry fire. Guys, click like, subscribe, check us out, leave a comment. We love to hear feedback.